Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking to you about Castles of Burgundy, the card game.
Le jeu de cartes.
Anyway, before we do, let's get into our pounds and inches segment. And I'm excited. I know, I'm always excited about our pounds and inches segment. As some of you know, I create goals for myself. It's a way for me to focus my month. And for October, I just wanted to be able to do a plank for 60 seconds. It was something I haven't been able to do. When I started October, it was only 20 seconds. And by the time I ended, I did it for 64 seconds.
Woo!
That's right. It's been
I could do it for 0.64. I don't even know if I could do that.
It's been very tedious of just consistently doing something every other day or so, even on days where I'm not meeting with my sister to work out, and it's paid off, and I'm really excited about that.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk about the Castles of Burgundy, the card game, for a little while. This is the card game version of the Castles of Burgundy, as the name might suggest. And that's a game that we really love, so we had high hopes for this one. Let's show you how it works. At the beginning of Castles of Burgundy, the card game, you're going to have 3 cards put in front of you. One is kind of the places where you're going to store the buildings before you build them, after you kind of acquire them from the middle. You're going to have a middle space that's going to have the things that you own. So you start the game off with, like an animal, a good, a silver, and a worker if you're lucky. And that kind of helps you move your dice around, which we'll get to that later. And then at the far end, that's where your completed, finished buildings go. So it's kind of a 2-step process. There's going to be a middle tableau. You're going to acquire your cards from there, put them here. And then you're going to spend cards to move them over here once they've been built. So each round, there's going to be a certain amount of cards dealt out to this main tableau based off of the number of players. So here's a 2-player game. There's 7 cards out there. Each one is next to one of these die values. So you're going to start the game with a little deck of 6 cards that represent dice. So in your hand, you're going to have these cards. You're going to ignore the main part here. You're just going to focus on that part right there. With the dice, there's a few things you can do. So you can take a card from this tableau here and put it towards your little storage area. The next thing you can do is you can move it over to your completed area and then complete whatever action it says you get from that once you build it. You can also discard a card, any dice value, for a silver. You can discard any card for some workers up to 2. It's kind of like your max that you can hold when taking that action. So if you have 0, you can take 2. If you have 1, you can only take 1. And the other thing you can do is you can sell workers and silver for points. Any set of 3 is worth 1 point each. The last thing you can do with a dice value is sell these goods. There are 3 different colors of goods, and based off what dice they have at the top there, you can use a dice value of one of those to sell the good to get points and money. But this is the main tableau that we're going to be drafting our cards from. It refreshes itself at the beginning of each of the new 5 rounds. Now this game is all about sets of 3. So once you have 2 of something and you place your third one in your built area, depending on what age it is built in, you get to choose one of the rewards based off of that card. And those are going to give you different things like workers, money, goods, animals, even silver. Also, if you're the first person to get a set of 3, you get to have the card here that's worth a point in a particular color. Also, the points at the bottom of the cards themselves are not based off of, building the card. You only get those points once you've built a set of 3 of those cards. So it's kind of all about getting to that third card. You also get rewarded if you are able to build one of each color building. You get 4 points if you're the first person to do it, 3 if you're the second, and so on. The silver in this game, once you have 3 of them, you can cash them in order to look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Now you can use these cards either as, the cards themselves to add it to your buildings, or you can use them as the dice values. So you can use, 3, 4, 5 in order to build something else or take some other benefit. So the silver gives you some extra flexibility. At the end of the game, you're going to get points based off of the triplets that you have, any awards that you've been gotten based off of, things that you collected, any points that you've got from goods that you sold or workers and silver that you cashed in for points, and then also you get points for animals. A set of 4 of them is worth 4 points, whereas if you only had 3 out of the 4, it's worth 2 points, 1 point, and just 1 is worth nothing. So you add up your points, whoever has the most points wins.
I'm always a fan of a game that has dual usage for cards, and this game does that too. And I like how they did it, how they have the dice, and then they have what the card is, and how you even need that for set collections, and how you can use the green cards for something else. Like I always enjoy games that have dual usage of cards.
I really thought that they did a good job of kind of helping you feel that DNA of the Castles of Burgundy. We really love that game. So to not capitalize on that and show some of those same things in here would have been a miss, and they did do that. Also, there's a solitaire version of this game, which I usually don't do a whole lot of solitaire gaming, but I did play this game solitaire, and it was tough, and it was fun. I liked it. And that's the end of that part. What else did you think about this game?
Okay, so like I don't want to be mean because I did like the game. I did have fun playing with it. I thought it was a good game. I thought it was maybe even a great game. But when there's a game that's a subset of a different game like this, if it's a card game or a dice game, I want it to give me the same feel but take up less space and take up less time. And this game did neither.
Yeah, it's a table hog. We kind of showed you a little bit of that earlier. And it is just, it's not streamlined. I don't know. It was just a big table hog. It took a lot of time. The setup was kind of egregious.
Like we took it out of town with us because we're thinking it's a card game. We could easily play it, and all we had was a coffee table. And even then, we're pulling up like chairs and stuff to put cards on because we didn't have enough space on the little coffee table.
And yeah, when you play a card version of a game, that's what it should be. It should be travel friendly. You should be able to play it on the, a little spot between you on an airport or something like that. And this is not travel friendly. You need a full, large table for this game. And also, it's just comparing it to other Stefan Feld games. This just did not give me that satisfaction. Winning or losing, either way, it was just kind of like, okay,
yeah,
okay. Now I gotta figure out how to clean it up. So this game is not a game that, for all Feld games we love, and this game was our least liked Stefan Feld game that we've ever played.
Yeah, I did. I can't emphasize them enough that I really did enjoy this game. It just, to play a card or dice game of a different game, it needs to be less. And if we had to choose between playing this or playing Castles of Burgundy, the original, we're always going to choose the original.
If you're a person who likes card games, if you like that multi-use cards, and you have a large table to use, and you want a lower price point version of the Castles of Burgundy, give this one a shot. This might be for you. But if you've already got the Castles of Burgundy, there's no reason to go towards this one.
No.
All right, well, that's our thoughts on the Castles of Burgundy, the card game. You can follow us on Facebook, at Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can also find us on Twitter, at Ryan and Bethany1. You can find us on Instagram, at Ryan and Bethany. And we've got our blog on BoardGameGeek.com. It's called Pounds and Inches, where we talk a little bit more about our health journey, what's going on there, how we're striving to be healthier people.
All right, well, this is Ryan and I'm Bethany, encouraging you to play games, live healthy, and create moments. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.